Hi class, this is Mrs. Ettinger. I just want to go over a few things we talked about this week so that you have this video to review. One thing we looked at was on the periodic table what the different numbers can tell you. So if we look at carbon, for example, first thing you see up here in the corner is a 6. That is your atomic number, okay, and that's going to tell you the number of protons, and that actually will also tell you the number of electrons. Okay, a lot of times people forget about that one. The other thing you'll see down here, whoops, at the bottom is that number, and that is our atomic mass, which is also atomic weight. If you see that, that's also what that is. That is going to be equal to the number of protons added to the number of neutrons. Okay, so remember something else that we talked about is the fact that this number is actually written as a decimal, which you may not see on your periodic table that I gave you because that's rounded. But this number is actually an average of, like my O there, average of the isotopes. So let's review what that means. Okay, so let's look at the isotopes of carbon, for example. We have a few different ones. Carbon 12, 13, 14 we talked about in class. What we're going to see, carbon 14 as well as carbon 11, if you notice, the abundance for those two is just going to be 0. That's because these are unstable, so you really won't see them very commonly in nature because they want to react and get back to one of these more stable isotopes. So we can take the average of these two carbon isotopes in order to find the average atomic mass for carbon. So here you have it says fractional abundance. We looked at these as percents this week, which would just be a matter of moving over your decimal place. So this one would be 98.9%. Same with this one. But it's easy to just look at it as the fraction because then we don't have to divide by 100. So you're going to multiply the fractional abundance by the mass for that isotope. Okay, so when we do that for carbon 12, we end up with 11.868. And then when you do that for carbon 13, you end up with 0.143. Okay, then you're just going to add those two masses together, and we end up with 12.011. Okay, so that's your average atomic mass of carbon, which you see is actually what it shows on the typical periodic table. Again, your periodic table that I passed out in class is rounded up or rounded down. Okay, so there's just a quick little recap of some stuff we talked about this week, so hopefully that clears some things up, and you have this to check out as you need it. Good job this week.